Alright, let's give it a minute to set up. It's been a couple weeks now since I last did a live stream. Is it live? Alright, excellent condition. Okay, cool. Alright, what's going on, guys? Oh, yo, Master Yoda, what's going on? That was quick. What's going on, Master Yoda? So it's been 3 weeks since my last live stream. Took a little bit of time off, had a week off of vacation. So today's just going to be a super laid-back, chill stream. Just want to talk about some stuff that I've been working on, some ideas that I have, and hopefully give some time for, you know, some people to show up, and hopefully we can have a good stream. So for anyone that's watching the replay of this and has missed this live, usually I try to stream at least twice a month, usually on Saturdays, and I try to space them out so they're not in consecutive weeks. So for this month, maybe we'll get another stream on the 30th, but we'll see. Kinda okay, but still alive. Hold on one sec. I need to, my windows are all messed up. I need to position this better. Hey, Augusto. What's going on, my Brazilian brother? Just popping in quickly. Hey, man. Thanks for always stopping by, Augusto. Still alive, LOL. Yeah, so anyways, I want to talk a little bit about past couple weeks, some things I've been working on, some ideas. So earlier in, was it last month, I guess, September? So in September, my favorite childhood video game was re-released. Hey, Forrest. Hi, Forrest. Missed you. Yeah, so when I was a kid, I used to love playing this video game. Oh, but to head out to dinner. Oh, okay. Yeah, enjoy the dinner, Yoda. Thanks for stopping by and say hi. Have a good day, bro. Have a good dinner. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so last month, I played this video game called Diablo 2 when I was a kid in like 1999, and then recently it got remade or remastered. So I was super excited about that. Like, imagine your favorite childhood video game being re-released with like updated graphics. So I took about a week off and played that with a bunch of friends, and it was kind of good because it gave me a break from my work, because I've been pretty obsessed and I've been pretty rigid with my work schedule since I would say June 2019. So I've been, pretty consistent with all these things that I want to achieve and all these things that I want to work on, so that I felt like taking a week off just to play like an old video game was something that was well deserved and overdue. But at the same time, I've had problems in the past with video games and playing them too much. So I had to be very careful that I didn't get like too addicted to it or something, right? What music am I playing? Let me change this music. Something more relaxing. Peaceful sounds good. So yeah, so when I was a kid, I never was introspective, or I never reviewed any of the decisions I made. I never thought about life really, right? And then now, as I'm older, I'm constantly thinking about things, I'm constantly reevaluating the decisions that I make, and I think deeply about how I live my life. And when I got back to playing video games, it was a lot of fun, you know, and I felt like a kid again. It was really exhilarating, and it was really reminiscent of my childhood, and had all these great memories. And especially a couple of my older friends, they bought the game as well, so we all kind of played together for about a week, and it was really nice. But at the same time, it is a reminder for myself to stay focused, right, and not get sidetracked by something like that. Hey, Batiste, how you doing? I've been good. Took a little bit of time off, just talking about this video game I was playing for a week, and just kind of took a little break from the whole content creation sort of stuff, as that was also the reason why I didn't post a video on Wednesday. So anyways, that was the first week of kind of just like catching up with friends, and you know, just playing an online game together. It's really cool, especially when you have such good memories. And this is when I was, I think, 16. I think I was 16 or 15. I think this was like 99 or the early 2000 that we were playing this game, Diablo 2. And I just remember having so much fun with so many people. But as that week came to a close, I didn't want to go back to my work. It's almost as if I was enjoying this game so much that I wanted this to become my new routine or new thing that I do. And it's really easy to get caught up in something that you were addicted to in the past. So I was very cognizant of that. You know, I was very aware of what was going on, right? And I told myself, you know, I'm going to set a time frame for how much I'm going to play this game. And then once I reach that limit, you know, that's it. You know, I got to stop, and I have to go back to my responsibilities in life, which was, you know, my dream of this becoming a filmmaker, a storyteller, YouTuber, podcaster, streamer, all these things that I wanted to do, right? So, oh, you're sick? Back to school since 3 weeks, and it's fun. Oh, that's good, man. Lots of parties. Maybe too much, but I didn't stop working. Hey, that's okay, you know. When, you know, that's part of life too. Like, obviously don't party too much, but you still want to enjoy yourself. You know, when you're younger, right? Because trust me, Batiste, when you get to my age, there's maybe one party a year. That's all you really get later on. So enjoy it while you can. Those will probably be some of your fondest memories, especially in like university, college. You know, it's like a great time in people's lives where you build a lot of friendships and you experience a lot of new things. And I sort of wish I did a little bit more of that when I was younger, but hey. But I didn't stop working. You know, that's good too. It's good to have balance, right? So anyways, so yeah, that was that 1 week that I took off, you know, just to play some video games with friends. And the week after that was interesting because this is when that whole Squid Game show was, I guess, going viral on the internet. I don't know if any of you guys hashtag old hashtag old. Oh my god, that's funny. Oh, hey Forrest, did you watch Squid Game? Or is it game or games? Or is it thus like what is it actually called? Squid Games? No, Squid Game, so it's singular, it's not plural. Squid Game. Did you finish it? I finally started to write an essay I wanted to write for a long time. Like you said, just start by chapter 1. Yeah, that's how you do it, Batiste. That is always the most difficult thing for like anything in life, is just that first page, that first sentence, that first title, or whatever it is to get started. It's always the most difficult. But, you know, once you do, hopefully you can build up that momentum, you know, and just keep it going. Oh my gosh, you watched it in one night? Oh, shit. Dang, one night? Wait, that was like 9 episodes? Wow, that's amazing. It took me and Tina a week, I think. We were watching 1 episode a night, and then we had a couple of days where we watched 2. And I think it was like the second last episode, it was shorter. Yeah, 9 hours. Oh, Batiste, you saw Squid Game too? Yeah, it's like so popular everywhere, right? Yeah, so right after I stopped playing Diablo 2 for that first week, we started getting into the Squid Game. And man, I haven't watched anything on Netflix in so long because I've been so busy. So this was like another thing that was like much needed, you know, relaxation or rest and relaxation. And I thoroughly enjoyed Squid Game. It was so different. And I liked like the music. I liked the music that they would play. It was like this weird, quirky sounding, I don't even know what instrument that was. It's like, I'm not even sure what it is, but I really enjoyed the music. And I think the very first game was like the best by far. Like with that, it was like what was it, a doll girl or whatever, and they're doing the red light, green light. That game, like, oh man, so crazy. I'm assuming that the show is going to have a second season from the way it ended, if I had to guess. Because you never see what happens to the cop, right? Is it just assumed that he dies? Wait, spoiler alert for anyone watching this. I always forget to say that. My cousin kept asking me twice a day if I finally watched it and sent pictures of random things, saying you'll know what it means when you see the show. Oh man, that's was she sending you any like spoilers, or were they just like random? Were they just random things? I was trying to avoid Instagram as much as possible because there's so many Squid Game spoilers on there. I remember I saw one spoiler. It was a picture of that guy Ali, and he was like dead on the ground, and the caption was like something they did my boy Ali dirty or something. And I was like, oh man. So like I saw like Ali die, right? So I was just like, oh, I gotta stay off Instagram for this show. Oh, that's good. No spoilers. That's okay then. You know what was interesting about that show? A couple years ago, Tina and I, we went to South Korea, and you know that, I think it was the second game where they're making those sugar crackers with the shape, like the umbrella and the star and all that. We had those in Korea, and I completely forgot. But Tina remembered instantly when we were watching the show. She's like, "Oh, remember we ate those in Korea?" And I was like, "Really? We ate those?" And then I thought about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we did." Like whenever we were walking through one of the cities or main towns, there would be like these street vendors where like a person had like a cart and I guess they were pouring like that. It kind of looks like pancake batter, but it's like some type of sugar, I'm assuming, and they kind of pour it in that circle and then like draw that shape. So when we were watching Squid Game, that second game has so much cultural importance because that is like a street vendor snack that is all over Korea. You know, it's like I don't know if you would say if it's the equivalent to like a hot dog stand in North America, but it's definitely something that is very common that you see in the streets. So that so that game with the carving out the shape in the sugar cookie thing, that was very significant. I would have been so stressed if I had to do that. And what else was after that? Oh yeah, the game with the dice. No, not the dice. What was it? It wasn't dice. It was marbles. Yeah, so the game with the marbles. That was the game where I saw a spoiler when Ali was laying down on the ground in like in the street. So when they played that game, I already knew that Ali was gonna die there, and I was like, oh man, stupid Instagram. So annoying. Because then it kind of ruins a story for you, right? When you see a significant spoiler like that of like, you know, a major character dying, and you see like the terrain that his body was on. So obviously it looked like a street with buildings. And then as soon as they started that game where they had to pair up and play for marbles, I was like, oh man. So I knew right away. So that episode was kind of ruined for me. But aside from that, really good show. I really liked it. Ending could have been a bit better, maybe. I don't know how I feel about the ending. I feel kind of indifferent. I guess I could have ended it in more of a dramatic fashion, but then at the same time, the way they did it, it kind of leaves the door open for a second season, which definitely would be super cool. So we'll see what happens there. So what else has been going on, guys? How you been, Forrest? How is everything? Hope all is well, the family and all that. Oh, you hope there is no second season? Oh yeah. Is it because you're gonna have to binge watch it? It's gonna take up too much time. It's just so time consuming, right? And there's too many shows to watch. That's the problem. There's so many good things to watch nowadays. It's so difficult to find the time to just sit down and watch. Because I'm assuming they're gonna want to like keep the money going, right? If the first show was super successful. Oh no, the show will get ruined. Yeah, that's true. Because the first is always so good, right? I love the shock factor and the curiosity that I had when I was watching. I think it was the first couple episodes. I was like, what is this? This is so crazy. But I know what you mean. Like the second, if they do create a second season, it's people are gonna have really high expectations, and it might be difficult to maintain that quality of a show. But who knows? Maybe they could figure it out. But there's a lot of good stuff coming out of South Korea, and I'm a huge fan. We are fine. Thanks for asking. Yes, you had to stay inside the MRI thingy. Oh, what? Really? You had to get an MRI? For 1 hour and 40 minutes. Oh, wow. I thought I was gonna go nuts. Is that the thing where you lie down on your back and they put you in like that scanner? Is that an MRI? I've never had one. Well, that's crazy. Hope everything's okay. Magnetic resonance imaging is a medical imaging technique that uses a magnetic field and a computer-generated radio waves to create detailed images of the organs and tissues in your body. Most MRI machines are large tube-shaped magnets. Yeah, okay, yeah, so that thing. Oh, that looks so claustrophobic. Oh man, that's jeez. Hope everything's okay, Forrest. Yes, you can't move and it's so loud. Oh man, that's wild. I think my dad he had to get an MRI once, and I think it kind of gave him like a panic attack because he was like kind of so stressed. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, that's good to hear. I'm glad everything's okay for us. Batiste. I really wanted an ending like the character recognizes that the organization behind the game is too powerful. So he decided to just keep the money and just go see his daughter. Yeah, I think that was the ending that we all wanted, right? We all wanted that guy to be a good father. You know? Like, that's what I was rooting for. I was like, man, you got the equivalent of $46 million. And it's like, you know, go see your kids, right? Go be a good dad. Recently, the creator of the Queen's Gambit said in an interview that even if the show was so successful, he don't want to ruin it in the second season where there's nothing interesting to tell. See, that's true. It's like, if there isn't a story already for the second season, or if it doesn't make sense to have the show progress that way, then you're almost just like forcing yourself to fabricate like a story and just make up something just to keep the show going, and then that's what usually ruins it, right? That makes sense. I really enjoyed the Queen's Gambit too. That was really great. What was her name? Beth Harmon. Yeah, Ricky Gervais style. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Queen's Gambit too. That was well done. Chess is another strange thing. Chess became like, when did chess become so popular and mainstream? Like, I see people playing chess on like Twitch and YouTube streams and all this stuff. Like, it's so popular now. I remember when I played chess when I was a kid, it was like for nerds. No one liked playing chess. It was like a intellectuals game, I guess you would say. But now it's like became part of the mainstream. I'm terrible at chess, by the way. Really bad. That is why the TV show The Walking Dead is garbage, and why the comics instead is so cool. Because the author knew when it was the right time to stop. Oh, I couldn't keep going with that show. The Walking Dead. I think I watched the first 4 seasons, maybe 4 or 5. And then they came out with the Fear of the Walking Dead, like that spin-off show. And then it just, I don't know, it just became too long and convoluted and just more of the same, you know? At first, it was crazy because you fear the zombies and the music was super dark and scary, and it was awesome how they had those zombies that had no legs, and it's like a guy crawling. Oh, it was amazing. But then after a while, I was like, when does this end? Does this ever end? And then just like kept going and going and going and going, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I guess I guess it's still good, but I couldn't finish it. I kind of just stopped. Well, I stopped watching when they got to that Negan guy. The guy with the bat. Same with The Flash. Yeah, I watched the first season of The Flash, and I was like, it's alright. Was it the first 2 seasons? See, this is a problem. I can't keep up. There's just way too much stuff out there. There's like way too many shows, way too much content, and it's like I don't know how people find the time to watch everything. To be honest, I can't do it. Like, what else have I watched recently? There hasn't been much, to be honest. I used to have this routine where we would watch Netflix pretty much every night after dinner. And, you know, you could easily get in like 2-3 episodes from like, say, 7:30 to 10:30. You can get in like a good 3 hours of watching Netflix in every night. But man, if you add all those hours up, that's like 20 hours in a week that you could be doing something, you know, productive with that time. And that's when I was like, okay, I got to cut back on all this stuff. You know, I'm just watching way too much TV. And even though it's like super exciting and super fun, it's like it contradicts all these goals I have that I want to achieve in life, right? So I kind of had to take a step back and look honestly at my TV consumption and kind of just rein it in, which is very similar to video games as well too, right? So the best example, if you're into horror and thrillers, is the Saw franchise. The first movies are very cool. All the other ones are boring or useless. Yes, there's so many Saws, right? I think I've seen the first couple, but let's find out how many. Is there like 10? Because eventually they started releasing one every Halloween. The first one was really good. It was like the one in the bathroom with the dead guy in the middle of the floor, but he was actually alive. That one was what is Spiral? From the Book of Saw? Wait, hold on. How many movies are there? Saw came out in 2004. Then Saw 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the way to 2010. And Saw 3D. Then Jigsaw. Oh my gosh. Saw franchise. Oh, let's see. So there was one every year from 2004 to 2010. And then it stopped for 7 years. And then in 2017 they had Jigsaw. And then Spiral in 2021. Wow, the first movie The budget was $1 million and it made over 100 million. Wow, 100 times. That's so crazy. So these these movies made so much money. It's wild. I feel like Saw 3D was kind of lame. Jigsaw, I don't remember any of these. Oh, Chris Rock is in Spiral. That's pretty cool. Wow, and Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, that's dope. Where's the reviews on this thing? Reception, critical response, 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yikes. 5.1. Average rating of 5.1 out of 10. A lot of recent horror movies are boring. Horror video games are much more interesting. Yeah, I enjoy a horror movie every once in a while, but it's it's sort of not my genre of choice. You know what my favorite movies are? My favorite movies are the ones that they're kind of like dramas, but they're like super challenging mentally, where you don't really understand, you can't figure out where the movie's going. Like I love ones that challenge me with the mental aspect. And then every once in a while I will enjoy like a comedy or like a stupid super random action movie every once in a while, but for me, I think drama and thrillers are definitely my favorite. Hey, The Only Way, what's up? Have you ever tried to find out who's your creator? Wow. That's a deep, deep question. That would that maybe that would need like an entire like video or podcast to go through a question that deep. I have thought about it. It's just hard coming on an answer that makes sense, that you believe in. It's difficult. Interesting question though. Let's see. For the first movie, James Wan, who was one of the directors and one of the main actors, sold his car to be sure they had enough money to finish the production. Really? Oh my gosh, that's wild. James Wan. That's crazy. Yeah, because it says their budget was 1.2 million. It's like hardly anything. And then they made $104 million at the box office. If you like challenging movies and drama thrillers, then you must watch No Country for Old Men. Yeah, I've watched it. When did that come out? It was so good. It was so good. Oh, 2007. So it was 14 years ago. Yeah, it was such good acting in that movie, especially I I don't know his name. What's that actor's name? The Spanish guy? The main villain? Let me see. Where's acting list or starring? Javier Bardem. Yeah, this guy. This guy was epic. Oh, what? His wife is Penelope Cruz? Really? Huh. Never knew. There you go. Yeah, that movie was so good. Yeah, that guy, he was like... His character was almost... It was like he was emotionless. It was like he had no empathy at all, and he was just stoned. It was like a stone-faced character that was, oh, it was so good, so good. And his eyes were like, they looked like they were just dead. He was so creepy. I love that movie. Box office did 171 million. I thought it would do better. Felt like this movie was amazing. Can't believe it came out 14 years ago. That's wild. Oh, Thanos was in it? Josh Brolin, really? Oh, that's hilarious. Thanos. Yeah, so many good movies from back in the day. Oh, you know what I need to catch up on? I need to catch up on all the movies that were supposed to be released last year, but they all got delayed because of COVID. And so I think eventually a lot of them were released this year in 2021, but because of the pandemic and how movie theaters here have been shut down, I missed a lot of stuff. Like Dune, I missed Dune. When did that come out? Dune. September 3rd in Venice. Oh, US is coming out next week. Yeah, so this Dune. When was this supposed to come out? Blah blah blah. Came out 2021. I'm sure there's a list. I'm sure there's a list of stuff that I missed. Oh well, I'll get back to that later. I'll leave that tab open. Movies that I need to catch up on from the pandemic. Hey, Naaman? Is that how you say your name? What's going on? Naaman Mishra. Hi, Derek. How you doing? Doing pretty good. What's going on? Am I saying your name right? Naaman? Sorry, I'm bad at pronunciations. I try. I was reading the first chapter just when you started the stream. Oh. I've been a fan since I was 11-ish. Saw everything ever made. Wow. Dang. No, you aren't. LOL. That's okay. Okay, cool. What's going on? How you doing? It's always nice to see a new name in the stream. Usually it's just me, Batiste, Forrest, and a couple other people just hanging out, having a good time. I, you know what? I was thinking about this once. It'd be kind of cool, like when the stream got bigger or whatever. But at the same time, I'm gonna miss like the intimate streams that we have when we just have like a couple people. You know, you can like really get to know people, and it's really nice. Derek, I have a question for you. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Is that the proper pronunciation for us? Like those accents on the A? Neman? Neman. And you're so much more culturally knowledgeable than I am, Forrest. I wonder if that's like a North American thing. We just like don't pay enough attention to the rest of the world. Or maybe I think maybe the United States is a little bit more guilty of that than Canada. But I don't know. At times I feel like I don't follow what's going on in the world enough. And I'm kind of just like stuck in this bubble of North America, but it's just what it is. Okay, so I gotta find movies from 2020 and 2021 that I missed out on. Let's see, movies 2020. Actually, I could probably go back to movie theater. I wonder if they're open. Should check it out. No, I think it's a language thing. Yeah, that also makes sense too, right? Yeah, because here it's like basically English and nothing else. You know what's cool about Europe? It's how there's so many different cultures, countries, and languages all like grouped together. Like you can go from border to border to border and be in completely different worlds almost, with completely different languages and cultures. Whereas here, like in North America, we go to the US is pretty much the same, right? Like we don't have that diversity of extreme cultures. Lately I've been struggling with my social life. Like, you know, I'm struggling with communication skills and I feel emotionally disconnected. How do I not feel this way? So I guess that will depend on your age, maybe, because when you say like social life, I feel like the importance of social life is very high. It's very high in your priority of things that you care about when you're in your teens and early 20s. And as you get older in life, as I have, it kind of wanes and kind of falls off, and you don't view it as such of as an important milestone to achieve or an important thing that you need to work on. So I guess for that question, you know, it's very age dependent, but I guess what I could tell you is that when I was younger, especially when I was like 14 and 15, my social life was very important to me, you know, especially in school and like in high school and college, university. Like you want to be popular, you want to be well liked, you want to be able to talk to people, you know, and it's like a super important thing to you. But it's hard because if you feel that you're emotionally disconnected and you struggle with communicating, you know, it can be hard, it can be tough. And I sort of felt this because I used to be extremely introverted, like super, super introverted. I would rather just kind of stay home than go out and socialize with people and socialize with my peers. I'd rather just like stay home and, you know, play a video game or play sports or whatever. So I had extreme social awkwardness, and it's a hard thing to overcome, because for me it sort of got better as I aged, and it improved over time. And what really helped me was confidence. You know, that was huge. Just building like self-confidence And the way that I did that was I was just working out. As soon as I discovered the gym and I started to become healthier and stronger and build a bigger body, then I became more self-confident, which like improved my self-love and how I viewed myself. And then it made a huge impact in my social life, because all of a sudden I viewed myself in such a high standard where I felt so confident in my own ability that it sort of bled into my social life and my communication skills. And it's like, I don't know if that's the answer for everybody, right? Because everyone is different. I don't know what your situation is, and I don't know how old you are, but I feel like in time it will get better as long as you work on it. And what really worked for me was just improving my self-image as a person, becoming confident in myself. If that was, reading more and becoming more intellectually capable, or going to the gym more and building a more physically strong body, building that self-confidence is what massively improved my social life and social ability. And even like now, like this whole thing with like me talking to people, talking to strangers, streaming, creating YouTube videos, and trying to give people life advice, like this is something I could never do as a teenager, right? I always was scared. I was always shy to give my opinion and talk about things because I had no confidence in myself. And if I didn't have confidence in myself, then I had no confidence in my beliefs, and then I had no confidence in what I was saying, right? So it wasn't until I built up that self-confidence that the way I communicated just became so much easier. And now it's like, it doesn't even bother me. Like even now during this stream, it's going to be 2 hours. I'm probably going to say something stupid. I'm going to like misspeak or stumble through my words or stutter or mumble or say something that's incorrect, and that's fine, right? It's because I have this level of confidence in myself that I'm not afraid, to be wrong. I'm not afraid to look awkward, and I'm not afraid to appear that, or I'm not afraid of what other people will kind of think of me. So I think a lot of that stems from self-confidence, and that's what kind of really helped me. But again, everyone has their own path, so it might be a little different. I'm currently 19, and I wasn't this way until 2 years ago. The lockdown basically destroyed my mental health. That includes my self-confidence. I improved it all slowly, but my self-confidence stayed low. Yeah, see, this is what really sucks, right? This is what is really difficult for young people, is this COVID pandemic that we've had for 2 years, right? Because we never had to go through this, like, well, at least in my lifetime, like this has never been a thing where we're locked down. We have to wear masks and we can't see each other's faces, and we can't, see relatives, and you can't see your classmates, your friends, or talk or go out and do anything. Like, it's not good for people's mental health and their social capacity to communicate, right? So, especially during this time, it's going to be extremely hard, because no one has the answers for this type of stuff, because no one has really gone through this. And especially for you, like, right now you said, you're 19. So 2 years ago when all this started, you were 17, right? Like when you're 17, 18, 19, you still like figuring things out. You're still growing as a human being, right? And to have this 2-year window where everything just stops and everything closes down, of course it's going to destroy people's mental health, right? Of course it's going to be difficult. And so, again, I don't know the answer for this, but one thing you could do is try not to rush it, try not to rush everything back to how you were before. And as I'm sure, as you said, you improved slowly, but your self-confidence is low. But maybe that will still pick up over time. And I wouldn't and this is what I'm doing. I'm like, I wouldn't just throw myself out there and go all in 100% and just try to do everything. Like, just, kind of take it easy. Like, for example, right now in Canada, the mandates is pretty strict here. Like, we have like this vaccine passport stuff. Like, if you want to go to some restaurants or places, you have to show proof of vaccination, and it's very strict here. And I'm fortunate because of my age, and I've gone through so much craziness in my life already that I'm very strong mentally, right? So I can handle this without too much discomfort. But at the same time, I'm not like running out there and just going to party all the time. Like, I'm, just taking it slow. It's been a while since I've been out with my friends. It's been a while since I've seen like some of my coworkers, and talked and had lunch together. Like, these are things that we all took for granted, and they were taken away from us. So I'm just trying to take it slow, just take it day by day. And even later today, I'm going to see one of my childhood friends that I haven't seen like in months. And we're just going to hang out later after the stream, spend a couple hours together, maybe have dinner, and just hang out for a little bit. But it's not like I'm not going to like a huge party or something with like 30 people. You know what I mean? Like, take it slow if you can. And hopefully things will improve gradually over time. So at least that's my approach. Because whenever you have a problem and you try to fix it too quickly and don't give it the duration it needs to breathe, then that's when I feel like you're kind of rushing things, and it's hard because obviously, this is difficult for you, right? This is a difficult thing to go through, and you're definitely not alone. As there's probably so many other people out there that are your age, 17, 18, 19, 20 that are struggling, that haven't seen their friends or classmates or anyone really, right, outside of your immediate household. And it's hard, man. Like, I get it. It's not easy. But hopefully in time, it will get better. Just keep working at it, right? Every day do a little bit. Every day do something. I don't know if that's the answer you're seeking, but it's like the best thought that I got. How did you improve your mental strength? So this is kind of like a cheap answer, but this is the truth. It's life experience. Like when I was your age, when I was 19, I was 19 in 2003. So like in 2003, like LeBron James just came into the NBA. So like we're talking like a long time ago. That's when I was 19. And I knew nothing. I was so weak of a human being. I was so weak mentally. If I was driving somewhere and I had a flat tire, I'm doomed. I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know how to change a flat tire, or if one of my friends bailed on me, for a get together or something, like I'd be destroyed. Like I was so weak, right? I was so weak of a person. And when you go through life the hard way, as I did with dropping out of university and struggling through all these terrible jobs because I didn't have a post-secondary education. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was aimless and directionless for so many years, like through my entire 20s. It's been a decade trying to figure out like what I wanted to do with my life. And that is what really calloused my mind and calloused my brain, is because I've gone through like so much struggles and life experiences, and it just makes you mentally strong. Because at the end of the day, I realized like, it's going to sound trite and cliche, but you have one life, right? You got one life and this is all you got. And the decision that you have to face is, what are you going to do with your life, regardless of how other people think of you? And I know when you're younger, you care so much about your social status and you care so much of how other people perceive you. But eventually, when I realized, like, man, it doesn't matter what people think of me. It doesn't matter what they say. What matters is, what do I think about myself, right? And that is what truly matters. And then I was just like sick and tired of being weak and useless and unreliable, right? And then I just started to force myself to do hard things, like the example with the car. I learned how to fix a flat tire, right? So that one time when I got a flat in the rain, I didn't know what to do. I had to call my friend. Now, if that happens to me, I've learned from those experiences, and I'm a better person. And it makes you a lot stronger mentally, because you know that you can rely on yourself, right? You don't have to rely on other people. And I think that's a big change that really worked for me, when I realized I could rely on myself and I didn't need other people to make it through life. And I think that's when my mental strength really started to snowball and kind of build up and up and up. And, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect person or I don't have any struggles. Like, I still struggle all the time. Like, I have self-doubt all the time, right? But because I have that life experience and that perspective, it's a lot easier for me to kind of overcome it and build on top of that, if that makes any sense. It's hard. It's hard to explain. Something looks different in that room, but what? Something's different in my room? There's like a bunch of stuff on the ground. There's like a bad painting down there. I gotta clean this up. Bunch of mess. Got a new camera. This is new. So we got a new toy to play with. So that will be pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else different in the room for us. Books? No, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully that helped. Sorry, I want to kill your name. Naman? So what are your thoughts when you see someone who's maybe better at you at something, like, I don't know, financially or physically? My first thought leads me to self-pity. Sick paintings, by the way. Oh, thanks, dude. So the good paintings are not mine. The good paintings are my dad's and Tina's. The bad paintings are mine. Like this red painting, that's from my dad from 1977. All these terrible paintings, like this disgrace of a Buddha, those are the ones I did. But getting back to your question, when you see someone who's better than you financially and physically, I can't tell, they all look good to me. I'll take it. So the financially and physically thing is it's difficult because it lowers your self-worth, right? And what happened for me, again, I can only give you like these anecdotal experiences that that I've experienced, and hopefully you can draw whatever information you can from them. But I have a group of friends that I've been close with since like grade 1, grade 4. Like, we've known each other our whole lives, and we're still very tight, and we still hang out together. And there's like a small group of us, right? I think. And for the longest time, I made the least amount of money, and I was the least educated out of all of them. Like I was like at the bottom, and we're talking like they're like computer engineers, mechanical engineers, like that have well-respected jobs, make great money, and then there was me, and I was sort of like the misfit or the outcast of our group. And it was kind of weird because you look at your friends and they're all doing well financially, and it makes you feel like a loser, right? Especially with money, because finances are so important. And then the same thing physically too. Like when I went to the gym and I put 85 pounds on the bench press, I couldn't get it off my chest. Like I tried to bench it and then it landed on my chest and it got stuck. And it's only 85 pounds. And it was demoralizing because all my friends were there and they're laughing at me, right? Because, you know, they're lifting like 150, 175, and I'm there with 85 pounds and I can't get the bar, in the air, and it's stuck on my chest. And it was horrible. It's horrible, and it makes you doubt yourself, right? And it took me a long time to realize this, that there's this quote that comparison is a thief of joy. And it's true, right? Because it doesn't matter who you are, there will always be someone smarter than you, someone more successful, someone more beautiful, someone, whatever, better looking. There will always be someone that is at one level higher than you and then always better than you. And if you get stuck in that, it's a giant trap, right? This idea of comparison. And what you need to do is, or rather what really worked for me is just compare myself to myself, right? And, am I getting better than I was yesterday? Is the Derek of today better than the Derek of 2020? Am I better than the Derek of 2019 or 2018? Like, I started to just compare myself to myself. And what happened was all those feelings of envy and jealousy that I had, towards my friends for being so successful, they all went away. And then now it's just happiness. I feel so happy that all my friends are doing so well. I feel grateful that they're successful, right? And I don't view it as them being better than me anymore. All I view it as, am I better than myself, where I was before? And, I am slowly getting there, right? But it's tough, right? It's so hard because it's very easy to say don't compare yourself to others, but when push comes to shove and you're in the moment, that's the first thing like your brain does. It kind of looks at what you're doing and compares it to your peers. And then your brain is like, oh, how come they're doing this and you're not? Or how come they got this and you're not? And how come they have this level of success and you don't? And I don't know if this is like an evolutionary thing. And I've explored this idea before. And I think it's sort of part of our evolution in DNA where like back in the day, you want to see what your neighbor is doing. Maybe your neighbor is a farmer or something and he's growing food and he's getting twice the amount of food that you are. Like it's in your best interest to figure out what that guy is doing, right? So that you can get the same level of success. But back in the day, that's like a life or death situation, right? And now it's not as serious. Like how many TikTok followers you have, or what clothes you're wearing, or what car you drive. That's not a life or death comparison, right? And so I always remind myself, comparison is a thief of joy, and the only person you need to compare yourself to is the you of yesterday. And once you do that, you realize that all that other stuff is nonsense, and like you should be happy, when your friends are doing well, and you shouldn't have these feelings of envy like I had, right? And it just ends up being a waste of time, like if you're always thinking about what other people have that you don't have, you're wasting time and energy that doesn't get you anywhere. And instead, you could be using that time and energy on improving your own situation. So, again, a lot easier said than done. But it's more about, I believe, it's more about comparing yourself to yourself. I know that feeling. The idea that you are something like the loser when you compare yourself to friends and sometimes to people you don't even know. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, especially with social media now. Like if you go on Instagram, you will always find someone better than you in some way. It's just never ending, right? It just keeps going to the next level, to the next level, and on and on and on. I compare myself. How do I say your name, Forrest? Blurta? I never realized that. In the multiverse, and most of the time it's eh. Most of the time it's eh. Dang, that's deep. You compare yourself, other possibles in the multiverse. Wow. That's wild. See, I'm the worst with name pronunciation. Sorry, guys. There's always a bigger fish. Yeah, that's that's life, right? I think there's a time and place, where comparison can be beneficial, but just don't let it consume you. Don't let that be the end goal or end result. Again, way easier said than done. I know it's people. You hear people say this all the time. Oh, don't compare yourself to others. It's like, it's such an empty statement, right? Like, duh, of course, but how? But how do I not compare yourself to others? So, what books are you reading right now? Oh, okay. So I have what am I reading? I think I have like 3 or 4 that I'm going through. I just finished a great book. I have a list of stuff. Oh, so I recently have finished Atomic Habits by James Clear. That was super good. Highly recommend that, Atomic Habits by James Clear. That was man, it was like an eye-opening book on how this guy, he basically breaks down like how you create habits and what triggers them. It's, oh man, maybe I might make a YouTube video on it. So let me see. So I finished Atomic Habits by James Clear. I finished Designing the Mind by Ryan Bush. That was amazing book on like mindset and philosophy. Designing the Mind by Ryan A. Bush. That was really good. And then right now I'm almost done reading Skin in the Game by Nassim Taleb. I find Nassim Taleb's books are unbelievably difficult to read. It almost takes me 5 times the amount of time to read anything Nassim Taleb writes. His vocabulary, it's too difficult for me. It's above my knowledge, and I struggle. And I find myself constantly going to the dictionary to look up words because I don't know what they mean. But Nassim Taleb's writing is brilliant. Like once you can break down the words that he uses and pull out the general ideas that he's trying to convey, man, it's like mind-blowing stuff. But just it's way too difficult to consume though. I've been reading Skin in the Game for like a couple months now, and I'm still not done. Like I finished in the time that I've been slowly picking that book apart. I think I finished 3 books in that period, or maybe 4. So yeah, highly recommend Designing the Mind and Atomic Habits, and not so sure on Skin in the Game. Too hard, too difficult. Sometimes I compare, or like Forrest says, sometimes I compare to all the Batiste I could have been if I had made different choices in the past. Yeah, that's a good one. I've done that too. Like I always think, if I finish university, and I got my degree in computer science, like where would I be now? Because what you have to realize is that I would have graduated in 2006, right? So we're talking about like 15 years ago, getting a computer science degree, and then being in the field where technology kind of boomed, and like there's a high demand for programmers, right? And I always wonder, like, say if I did finish university in an alternate universe, I'd probably be so well off financially, with the amount of money that I'd be making with a computer science degree. But I always wonder, because of that, would I have not struggled as much in life, and would have life been a lot more easier? And then maybe I wouldn't have found my passion in all this creative stuff that I like to do. So I think, like, if I could trade my life now for that possible alternative universe where I have a lot of money and a degree and all this stuff, like, would I take it? And I think the answer is no. I think it was better that I struggled for those 10 years, in all honesty, to get to the place where I'm at now, because I am so happy, you know, where I'm at now. Even just thinking about it, you know, it brings like this big smile to my face, because it took me so long to figure out what I love to do. And now that I have it, like, it just, regardless of how much money I make, it makes me feel so good, you know, doing things like this, doing these live streams, creating videos, just talking to you guys. It just brings me so much joy and passion that I wouldn't trade it for whatever possible alternative Derek there could have been, you know. So I don't know, possibilities, right? So if you would go to the past and fix your mistakes and errors, would you do it? No side effects to your current future. It's interesting. So would you go to the past and fix your mistakes and errors? I think I might fix the mistakes. Well, that's a tough question, because there are some things that I experienced and did that basically led to like no benefit. But at the same time, I don't know, you know, because your past mistakes and failures, it builds so much knowledge for yourself, right? And I can always reference those moments in my life where, oh, I tried this, but it didn't work. Or I also tried that, but that was a huge failure. And if I never experienced those things, I wouldn't have that knowledge now. So I don't know. Now that one's tough. I don't have a definite answer for that. Trying to think about that. Would I go back and fix my mistakes and errors? That's a tough one. Isn't that the point, though? Like the point of looking back at your decisions? What do you mean, Forrest? So I got lost in Naman's question. Yeah, it's tough. I think about it a lot too. You know what really kills me? Or like investment decisions. Those are the worst. Especially like housing decisions. Like, I'm okay with like my past business ideas that I tried and failed, you know, past friendships that I had and failed and didn't work out. Like, I'm okay with that stuff. But the ones that were like super obvious, you know, like, I think those are the only ones that really bother me. Give me a penny every time you butcher my name and I'd be rich. Naman. Oh, sorry, bro. I'm the worst. I personally wouldn't do it because all the mistakes I've ever made built me into who I am today. And like you said, I wouldn't give that away for anything. He said, fix a mistake. Why wouldn't you if it wasn't for any kind of positive side effect? Yeah, see what I mean? It's like, when I think about those mistakes, you know, that got me to where I am now, right? And I wouldn't want to give that up, you know, because that's like, those are valuable life experiences, right? Like when you start a business for the first time and you put all your time, effort, money, and energy into it and it goes bust and you go broke, right? That's a horrible feeling. That's a horrible experience. However, that's an experience that I have lived through and that I have with me, and I know how that feels, right? So when I started this like YouTube business or whatever that I'm trying to create, I know what extreme failure feels like, right? Because I've been there, I've done that, I've gone through it, right? But what that's done is it's given me perspective, right? Because before I was like, oh, okay, I know my business failed because I didn't put enough time and effort into it, or maybe, you know, there wasn't enough attention to detail, right? Or I didn't try enough things that challenged me. And these are all things that I've learned from that past failure. And now I can use that to better this current business venture that I have for this channel. So, but if I change those things, right? Okay, maybe I save the money, but I don't have that useful utility of information that I can draw upon now for when I have a tough business decision. So the cringe moments still haunt me at night though. You know, those random cringe memories when you're in bed. Yeah, I have I think I have like 4 or 5 like super cringe memories that they just haunt me, and I'm never gonna get away from them. And a lot of them are like super extreme moments of like social awkwardness and embarrassment. Like I've had a couple where it's just, oh, it just like eats away at me. Like introducing myself to someone, like, because I think this is the first time meeting them, but I've known them so much longer, you know, and then like I put out my hand to shake their hand, then everyone like stops and looks at me like, you don't remember so and so, like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that is so cringy. I'm just like, oh man, those memories are so painful. But I feel like everyone has a bunch of these, and they're never going to go away, right? Or at least I don't think they're going to go away. I've had them for so long, and it's just like, oh, you just feel like this level of self-disgust, right? You're just like, oh, it's terrible. But at the same time, you know, it's good. It's good. You know what? I'm starting to realize it's good to not always feel good. You know, like, I don't think that things should always be working out. Like, I think it's a positive thing when you have discomfort and when you feel awkward and you feel like you have these cringy moments, right? I feel these are good things to have in your life. So as much as I would want, or I would love to delete those memories from my brain, at the same time, you know, I think that they're important that they're there. It's important. Maybe it's I'm supposed to use that moment as a teacher to pay more attention to people, you know, and remember their names, or remember how to pronounce their names, or remember faces or people that I've known in the past. And maybe you know, I I'm too complacent on those things, right? Maybe I just kind of take it for granted, you know, the presence of other people. And, you know, I should learn from that cringy memory and, you know, be thankful and be more aware of, you know, the people that I'm around and the people that I'm talking with. And, you know, and sort of use it as like a life lesson and learn from it. So again, it's all about your perspective, right? So, but I'm sure everyone has those super cringy moments, right? Like I even have one from when I was 5 years old, and like my mom dropping me off at kindergarten for the first time, and I was late, so I was the last one into the class, and I freaking cried for my mom. And this is like a very distinctive memory I have from when I'm like 5 years old, because I just remember like all the other kids looking at me and like laughing at me or something. And this is what it is. It's like what it is. It's it just, even when you think about them, oh man, I just want to like go in a closet, close a door, and just like hide, like in darkness, you know, like, oh, it's so uncomfortable, like thinking about those super cringy, awkward moments, you know, or just like, oh, or you know what else is really bad? When you start to kind of go through adolescence and you have this idea that you think you're smart and you think that you know things, and so that you'll kind of put yourself out there in a public moment and say something that you think is super intelligent, but it just comes out clunky and dumb and slow and not well thought out, and you just sound like a complete idiot. Like I have moments like that too, like public speaking moments, or when I tried to ask a question and I tried to use a word that I thought that was super smart or scientific because I knew some unnecessary word that people don't use in normal conversation. But if I use that word, maybe I'll appear smart, and maybe people will like me, and they'll think that I'm smart or intelligent or something. And then you just say it and it just comes out dumb. Oh, and then you just regret it. It's horrible. It feels so uncomfortable right now. Oh, Derek, it's like you're my twin brother from another universe. This line is the latest cringy thing I've ever said. Oh, that's funny. Oh man, where's the laughing emoji? I need a double laughing emoji. Oh. So rough. Yes, you can have like super good ideas in your mind, but if your representation skills are not good, it'll just come out being a soup of mumbo jumbo. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it's almost like a disease for some people, you know? It's like some people, they want to come across as an intellectual, and they want to appear smart because they think that other people will think that they're intelligent, and that will somehow boost up their whatever moral compass or moral score or morality, or they'll think that, you know, people will like them more. And it's almost like a disease, you know, this desire to appear smart. And I was so guilty of this. Like even in the beginning of this YouTube channel, I was like, okay, if I create a video on something, no one is going to watch it or think it's good if I sound like an idiot. So maybe I'm going to look up a word that I think is outside of my vocabulary, but if I use it, maybe it will make me look smart, right? And then maybe people will like me. There's a stupid thought that I had in my mind when I started all this stuff. And I specifically remember looking up the word convoluted, right? Because I was like, oh, what's like another scientific word for, you know, something that's confusing or messy, and I came across this word convoluted, right? And I was like, oh, that's an awesome word. And I tried to like add this stupid word into my vocabulary, and eventually it just naturally became part of my vocabulary. But I remember the first time using it, I used this word just for the sake of using the word in a hope to appear smart, right? And that is like, oh, it's like another thing that when I think about it, it's just so gross, you know? And I've learned from that to just, you know, of course I want to become a better speaker. You know, I want to have a better vocabulary, not to appear smart, but I want to have a bigger vocabulary to try to portray myself with as many descriptive words and very specific ideas as possible. Because I don't want to say, oh, I feel good about this, I feel bad about this, oh yeah, this is a good idea and that's a bad idea. It's too simplistic and there's not enough detail in that, right? And so I've made the change to like, you know, my vocabulary is important, the way I speak is important, you know, learn proper grammar and punctuation is important, you know, but it needs the drive or desire. Now it comes from a good place. You know, it's not disingenuous as before. Whereas before, I'm just trying to impress people. You know, like who am I trying to impress, right? Like, what am I trying? I'm not trying to impress anyone out here, right? And once I realize that, you know, and just do this for me, right? And do this to become a better communicator, and all that stuff started to become a lot less cringy, you know. But that one stupid word of convoluted, it still remains in my vocabulary, and it haunts me when I use it, because I just feel like a fraud, you know, because I remember, oh, this is like some stupid word that I used. So this is what it is. Okay, Derek, it's late here and I have to go to sleep now. It was nice talking to you. It made me feel comfortable knowing that people make the same mistakes. Yeah, bro. Thanks for stopping by and asking questions. I always say this, but you know, I learn just as much from my own ideas and conveying, you know, thoughts. I kind of learn from talking to other people too, right? So, good night, dude. All the best. You know, hopefully everything you know, gets better. Hey, we'll meet again in the next AMA. There you go. I'm always here twice a month, or at least I try to be. So we'll see when the next one is. What time is it right now? Oh man, we did like an hour and a half already. That was so fast. Dang, that just like flew by. See, this is what I really like about these live streams. It's incredibly challenging for me, you know. This is like an incredibly difficult thing to do. That I do enjoy it. Like, I have a lot of fun, but at the same time, like, I always think about things and ideas, and think about thoughts and perspectives. But if I don't articulate them and put them out in the world, they kind of just like sit in my brain and turn to nothingness. They turn to mush. So this is a great intellectual challenge for me. So I'm enjoying it. 1932. What's that? 7:32. Your time? Oh yeah, 6 hours ahead. 7:32. When do you have dinner, Forrest? Or are you having dinner right now? I never know. I'm super excited for later today. Gonna go see have dinner with one of my oldest friends. Should be fun. We can have our kids play together, which will be cool. Look at this thumbnail that I made for this video. I just like put my hand up. I just wrote hello because I didn't know what to call it. Oh, at 5-ish? Oh, man. Now it's tea time? Oh, what kind of tea you like? Are you a big tea drinker? And I don't know why, but I only like having tea like in the winter. Like I love having green tea in the winter time when it's like super cold. But for whatever reason, like during the summer and stuff, I don't know. I don't enjoy tea as much. Hey, Jessosity, what's going on? Hey man, I love your videos. I was just wondering, in one of your videos you said you were very obsessive compulsive. Do you have obsessive compulsive disorder? Ooh. So the way I don't fully understand OCD in its entirety. Usually OCD is like people that they're like obsessive with like washing their hands and cleaning. Like cleaning their wrist and arm. But the only reason that I mentioned in one of my videos that I was obsessive compulsive is because this was a quality that my mom recently told me that I had. And I don't know. I don't think I have obsessive compulsive disorder, but I think I have obsessive compulsive tendencies. And the way my mom explained this to me was, she said that when I was growing up, whenever I found something that I liked or enjoyed, it became the sole purpose of my life, and I just became absolutely obsessed. Like I was just obsessed with whatever the hobby of the month was, or whatever new thing that I figured out. And she realized this about me. Especially like later in my like teenage years. And again, I don't know the proper definitions, but I do think I have obsessive compulsive tendencies, because when, for example, I think it was like grade 6, I first discovered basketball, and Canada got its first team in the NBA. We got the Toronto Raptors, and I was like, I don't know, 12 years old or something. And she said this was like the first thing she noticed, that I became like this obsessive compulsive person, because all I would do was play basketball. And even in the winter, like it's snowing, it's like minus whatever 20 degrees outside here. It's like really cold. And she would say that I would go to the park and play basketball in the snow for 8 hours, and I'd come back and my fingers would be frozen, like almost to the point of frostbite. And she just thought like, I really like basketball or something, which is fine. But then as after I grew out of basketball, I got into that video game Dance Revolution, the one where you're dancing on those triangles. And then I'd be playing at the arcade for like 12 hours a day. I just go there and just play all day long. And this was like this reoccurring pattern that I kept having, that my mom would notice that. And she said to me, she's like, you need to be very, very careful about the hobbies that you choose in life, because you have obsessive compulsive tendencies with things that you enjoy. And I realized that she was right, because whenever I got into a video game that I enjoyed, or a book that I wanted to read, I couldn't just play for an hour, right? If I was playing like a video game that I became obsessed with, I'd play for 40 hours straight. Like I wouldn't sleep. It just became like a disease. It was insane. And if I picked up a book that I really liked, I would have to read the whole thing. Like I couldn't stop, and I couldn't like control myself. And so this was something that like I kind of, again, my parents pointed me towards. And I was wondering, because is it obsessive compulsive, or is it just a hobby that I really like? Like, what if it's just something that I really like to do, and maybe I'm just spending an unhealthy amount of time on it? Like, I don't know, right? I'm not entirely sure, but the more I review myself, like when I like something, like it's really bad. Like it's crazy. Like when I started this like YouTube channel, for example, I can't just make a video. I can't just get my phone and make a video. Like it's like not enough for me. I have to go buy a camera. I gotta buy a lens. I gotta buy a microphone and lights and a computer software to edit, and a computer and a second camera. I always have to take it to the next level, and I just become absolutely obsessed. And I can't give it up unless I give 120%. And for whatever reason, I've just always been like that. It's just whatever I like. I can't do it for just the enjoyment. I have to always try to like be the best and do it to the best of my abilities. And again, I think it's more tendencies that I have, but also I'm not sure. There is an OCD and an OCPD. What's that? OCPD. OCPD. I would do the same thing, actually. I would play basketball in the rain all the time. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, regardless of the the weather, like I would just play basketball. But then it wouldn't end there. Like, I'd play basketball all day, and then I got into reffing. So I would referee games, and then I would play fantasy basketball, and I'd buy NBA 2K, and I'd play, like, it was just always like over the top. It was just always too much, and I could never just, this is why I feel like it's really difficult for me to just have part-time hobbies. I can't just do some things kind of part-time for fun, right? That's like a big problem that I have. Like, for example, if I wanted, for the longest time, I wanted to get into like rock climbing, for example, right? But I'm so scared that if I try rock climbing and I love it, I'm gonna be going there every single day, and it's gonna like ruin my life or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's more of a quality rather than a disorder, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you agree with that or not. But that's the best way I can describe it. Which has also made me kind of leery of the more like hardcore drugs, right? Because if I have this super obsessive personality, like what would happen if I got into like some like really hard drugs that are highly addictive? Like, combine highly addictive substances with someone who has a personality of obsession and addiction. Like, yikes, that's probably like a recipe for disaster for me, So Jason Momoa, who? So random. I don't know. It's just how it is. Sounds like you're more obsessive than compulsive. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't know what it is. I kind of just like sort of always been like that. And when I looked back at my life and all the things that I've done, like it's just been this pattern of all in or all out. It's like I can never do anything like halfway. It kind of sucks because it's robbed me of joy at times from things like rock climbing that I would like to try, or things like jujitsu that I would like to try. But it's just, man, I don't know. And I would say your obsessive tendencies to do things to the best of your ability is actually a good trait, and it's definitely not a disorder. It's even like, even at work, like at my job, like I can't, it's hard for me to just like half-ass anything, you know. I always have to like go all out and give full effort, or just like don't do it at all. It's I don't know, it's weird. Jason loves rock climbing and is kind of known for that. Oh, really? Huh. Yo, rock climbing looks so cool. It looks so interesting because they have those numbers and letters. They depict like the difficulty of the climb, right? I always see those like, oh, this is like an 8D level climb or something. I was always like so interested, like, what is that? And I think the appeal to me is the challenge of rock climbing, that there's levels that you can get to. And I think that's what I'm really addicted to. It's that, you know, that process of getting better and improving. So maybe one day I can find a way to just try rock climbing for fun, you know, and not have to go all crazy. So it's weird because, you know, like rock climbing, it's probably like a good hobby to have, right? Because it's like physical activity. It probably builds a lot of like upper body strength, and I guess grip strength. You probably develop really really strong fingers, if I had to guess, and probably strong shoulders too, because you're constantly like pulling yourself, right? So it'd be like a great workout. Just the problem is, would I be able to go for an hour class and stop? Like that's my question that I have for myself. Could I go and just enjoy it for an hour? Or when I do go, do I have to stay there for 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours? Like, does it have to be that type of thing? And that is what I'm scared of. So it's responsibilities, right? Like I have responsibilities to take care of, and it can't just be climbing a wall, climbing a rock wall. Wait, so Jess Austin, do you like playing basketball? So are you excited for the NBA season? Have you ever heard of Alex Honnold, the guy who free soloed El Capitan? Yeah, that guy, oh man, that guy gives me anxiety. Whenever I listen to him talk, or I watched, he had a documentary, what was it called? Free Solo, or whatever, where he climbs without the harness, right? Without the safety harness. Like my palms were just full of sweat, like they were like drenched, and I was like clenching my fists, and I was like pulling onto my chair, and I was so sweaty and nervous whenever I watch that guy do anything. It's so crazy. It's like he has no fear of falling, or he's just so good at rock climbing that he's just so comfortable and relaxed that he doesn't even need a harness. Like, is that what's going on? But that guy's wild. It's so crazy. And I've listened to him. I've listened to him on Joe Rogan before. I can't remember if it was like last year or something. I think he was on there once. And again, just like listening to him just talk about climbing without a harness. Again, it just makes my hands perspire, and it just becomes so nervous. So I don't know. Much respect to that guy. That guy's a beast. Is he still alive? I hope he's still alive. Let me Google him. Alex Honnold. Okay, good. He's still alive. That's like my fear. My fear is like one day I'm just gonna hear that like this guy falls or something. Because he's around my age. He's 1 year younger than I am. See, this is the thing that I'm talking about. Highest grade climb, bouldering V12. Like, what's a V12? Like this grading system that they have for climbing is so interesting to me. V is for vermin? I don't know what that means. 8A plus. Huh. Fear is the mind killer. Oh, that's deep. Oh, man. Yeah, because I'm sure that he's probably just like so used to it that he's just, you know, tranquil and he's relaxed and he has no anxiety. And that's probably how he can, you know, focus and climb so well. Yes, I used to play basketball a lot and I haven't. Yo, Jeremy Lin. Yo, I love Jeremy Lin. Linsanity. Oh man, it was the best when Jeremy Lin was playing for the Knicks and he had that stretch of Linsanity. I remember watching the game that he played against Toronto, and then he had the ball at half court and he just like pulled up for three. Dude just pulls up and goes for the win and just killed us. And it's like this epic highlight of him just destroying the Toronto Raptors during his time of Linsanity. Oh, so good. Loved watching that guy. Oh yeah, he played on the Raptors too. When we won the championship, did he get a ring? Let's see. Yeah, he did. NBA champion 2019 with the Raptors. Oh, wicked. So remember, he was on our team for a year. And I was like, wait, that was the year he won the title with us. So cool. Yeah, I've had to I kind of had to dial back my passion for basketball. I kind of don't play as much anymore. I stopped buying PlayStation and NBA 2K and stopped reffing, stopped coaching and all those things. It was it was just way too time consuming for me. But anything basketball, I absolutely love. I miss playing the most. Playing was fun. Such a good exercise too, right? Oh, your mom used to play? Oh, that's cool. Basketball is huge in Europe. Like so many good European players. I remember when I went to Italy. Was it Italy or Austria, Italy or Germany or something? When I was like 14, like all I wanted to do was play basketball, and everyone there was like, "What?" Because everyone plays soccer, right? Or football. And then she got me the geek allergic to sports. Oh man. Yeah, I kind of miss it. You know, I wish I had more time to play sports. It was fun. Like I love the competition of it too. Just, you know, competing, just physical activity, and just something about it is so satisfying to me. Hey, we peaked to 6 viewers. Oh, that's pretty cool. I can't even remember the last time I played. When was the last time I played? Man, it's been years. If I played now, I'm so old, I'd probably roll an ankle or something. uh, did you ever play for a team? Yeah, I played, I guess you call it house league, just in local leagues with kids my age. I was pretty good early on, because like I had like a growth spurt early. Like I was 5'10", like pretty young. But then when we got to like high school, and so many people around me grew to like 6 feet plus. Oh man, it was all over for me. I was like a bench warmer. I tried playing for my high school team, but I could never make the team because I wasn't good enough. It's too short, too slow. So it's just what it is. I never in my life wanted to be better than anyone in anything ever. How does that even feel like? Is there something wrong with me? No, I think that's fine. It's all good. It's like some people yearn for competition, you know? Some people just like I love competition. Like it could be friendly, unfriendly, like whatever. Like any type of competition, I'm all for it. The craziest the craziest competitive, I guess I would say, I've ever been was as like a young boy with like Pokemon cards. I think that is what like really triggered competitive stuff with me. I was just like obsessed because you could play the actual game with Pokemon cards, and I just love the competition. And then it naturally kind of just like bled into basketball. I don't know what it is. It's just I always like to compete, challenge myself. But I don't think there's anything wrong with not enjoying competition. It probably just doesn't resonate, you know, with some people. It's just like, can't be bothered. Or maybe it's like a male thing. Maybe it's more like a trait that guys just, like, we're just naturally inclined to gravitate towards competitive activities. But who knows? I don't know. I have no idea. I can only speak for myself here. Whoops. Yeah, hopefully I should have a video out by next Wednesday. I have a couple videos that I've been working on. Again, it kind of sucks that I didn't post a video this week, but kind of was too busy with a bunch of stuff. But I think after today's stream, I should have a couple of days to finish editing the video that I'm working on right now. And hopefully it makes it out for next Wednesday. I definitely like competition, but only if it's something that I'm relatively good at. Yeah, it's never fun to compete at something where you're like a noob, or you're like a beginner and you just get crushed. Like that's never fun. But you know what? At the same time, I do enjoy things that I'm not good at, because I think I really like that progress. You know, whether if it's in a sport or it's in a video game or an activity that you're trying to learn, like the learning curve. Like when you see that progression, when you're trying something new and you get a little bit better and a little bit better, and I kind of get addicted to that progress. Like I love the journey. And I noticed this a lot in video games. Like whenever I would be playing a video game, I'd be like, growing my character, grinding my character, whatever I was doing. Whenever I reached the goal that I was set out to achieve, I always felt unsatisfied. And I was the most engaged during the process and during the struggles and the journey. And that whenever I achieved the goal, I always just felt underwhelmed. And I was more into the actual grind than the reward itself. So I don't know, it's just something that I noticed. Oh, it's interesting, this video of my dad with his colorblind glasses. It's made let me see, it's made $20 from like the ads or something. I'm gonna try to save that money and hopefully use it to buy him an even better pair of colorblind glasses. That'd be pretty cool. It's funny how YouTube works. Hey, we almost made it to 2 hours. Oh, that's pretty good. I gotta go have lunch soon, and then hopefully meet up with my friend from back in the day. It should be a good time. So I'm gonna end the stream shortly, unless you guys have any other questions or things you want to talk about. It felt good to do this. I like doing the stream once every 2 weeks. I'm gonna plan, hopefully the next stream will be October 30th, Saturday, so we'll see. I'm gonna continue reading till next time. Yeah, thanks for coming, Forrest. I always love talking to you. Glad to hear that everything's okay and you're doing well. Yeah, I always enjoy the live streams. So. Let me see. Okay, so the last one I did. Is that right? No, September 25th. So what was that? So that was a Saturday 3 weeks ago. Okay, yeah. So we'll plan the next one. October 30th at 12 Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be the next stream for anyone that's watching that wasn't able to catch this live. If you want to check out the next one, that's when it will be. I'll leave a comment in the description below just in case if anyone misses it. And then we should have hopefully 2 videos out before the next stream on the 20th and the 27th. So that's currently my plan for content for the rest of October. I'm going to try to get out 2 more videos and 1 more live stream before the month ends. All right, I guess if I could ask one last question, I would ask this. What advice would you give a senior in high school with bad grades and still wants to have a successful future? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so depending on where you live, definitely completing high school is like a must, right? Like so many jobs in the workforce, especially in Canada, North America, requires a high school education, right? So as long as your grades are good enough, to pass, graduate, that's cool. But if you have the goal where you think that your future will require a certain level of post-secondary education, like say you want to join a field that requires a certain degree or college diploma, then definitely try to focus on improving your grades, right? Because if you want to achieve a certain career or go down a certain career path that requires a specific education, you got to make sure you get that. However, if you are someone like me, again, I don't know your position, but for me, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I kind of just did school because it was just the right thing to do, right? And I didn't have any clear direction or goal. And my grades were crazy. They were like all over the place. They were like super strong math, heavy in the maths and sciences. I had really good grades there and really poor grades in like the English, history, and art type of stuff, which seems kind of bizarre now because it's almost like reversed, because the creative and the arts is like the stuff that I love to do now. But I would say don't force yourself to go down the university college road if you don't really know what you want to do. And I know that this is actually an unpopular opinion, especially coming from parents and teachers. Like, education is important, and I believe education is important too. But if you don't have a specific career that you want to go down or specific career path, right? I would just say try to do your best with the rest of high school, graduate, right? But then instead of going to college or university and going into like incredible amounts of student debt, try different things in the world, because you'll soon realize this, or you'll realize this later in life, that when you're young and you're in high school and you just graduate, this is like the only time in your life where you have lots of free time. And it's the only moment where you can go out and try a bunch of different things. Because if you get to a place where I'm at now, like me, for example, you have so many responsibilities. You have like house, mortgage, family, car payments, like insurance, like taxes. You have all these things where I can't decide to travel to a different country and work there for 6 months, or try this new hobby, or try this other job. Like, I can't do that. I don't have that time and freedom. And if you know a specific career path you want to do, then great, right? Study hard, try to get into a college or university for that thing you want to pursue, and do that. But if you don't, I always urge younger people to explore, try things, put yourself out there. And maybe, like, even for me, when I was your age, I had no interest in cameras or photography or videography or public speaking. I didn't like any of these things. But it wasn't until I kind of put myself out there and I tried a bunch of things and I realized, oh, I have a passion for this, or I have a passion for that. But if you never try new experiences and put yourself in difficult situations, you'll never know what really drives you. And unfortunately, when you're younger, like it's hard to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. And it's very difficult, especially in North America. The way they set up the school system is when you're 19, like you got to make a decision for what you want to do for the next 40 years of your life, next 40, 45 years. When you're 19, you got to know what you want to do from 20 to 65. Like how, I don't know how we expect kids to know this decision. It's like one of the biggest decisions you will ever make, right? And if you don't know specifically what you want to do, right, I would say don't cripple yourself with financial debt. Just try to do your best in high school and try to experience the world and try to experience as many different things as possible, and try to find what your passion is. Because in my opinion, that is one of the most fulfilling things, is finding something that you're passionate about and something that you love to do. and then you'll live a great and happy life. So hopefully that could help, but definitely try to get the grades up. Try to get the grades up, man. It's key. You know, high school is a must. But then again, you know, a successful future, it doesn't always have to be, you know, about money, right? A successful future, in my opinion, is finding a job that you love to do regardless of money, right? If you can make enough money to cover your finances, but you have a line of work that you just absolutely love, you know, that is truly valuable. So I know it was like kind of a messy answer that kind of went all over the place, but you know, try things. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, all right, dude. I hope that helped. Jessosity. Hopefully we can chat again in the next stream. I'm gonna just end the stream shortly, and have a good weekend. And thanks for anyone that is watching this in the replay. That's funny. All right, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.